Hi, it's Kapitan with S&B, and today we're installing our 47-gallon replacement tank on this Mercedes Sprinter van. So first step is going to be removing this hose clamp that's holding the hose onto the plastic filler pipe, draining the fuel that's in between here and here, then we'll proceed with the install. Next step is going to be removing these four connectors in the front. So we'll start with this one. These fuel connectors slide the retainer out and down. And you can see these also have blue and white tape, so you can't screw it up. The third one is the aux tap. Just squeeze these and pull. Can get a little diesel on you when you pull these out. And the last step is going to be just snipping that zip tie so the electrical is free to go down with the tank. So now we're going to be removing the 3 tank straps that are holding the OEM tank. So now that we have the OEM tank out, we are going to be moving over the main vent line over to the S&B tank. It uses the same kind of style vent. We're going to be removing the locking ring, removing the fuel pump and sending unit, and placing it into the S&B tank, as well as moving over the rubber filler hose onto the S&B tank and putting in the S&B check valve. First is going to be making sure no debris fell into the tank during shipping, as well as making sure the O-ring groove is clean and placing the black S&B O-ring into the O-ring groove. And there's a black Venturi pipe that's sticking into the back of the tank that's attached to the sending unit. So when we remove this, we're going to be careful, as well as the float that's here on the right side. Make sure we don't get a mess putting it into the S&B tank. We'll drain the remaining fuel. It's built the same way, the baffles are built the same way as the OEM tank, but we don't want this ever to hit the float and keep the float from moving. So when we get it in there, you're going to make sure that it goes over the baffle. There we go, and get seated perfectly. And this tab on the sending unit, that yellow tab, is going to face the arrow. So now we're going to be putting in the check valve. As you can see, it has the flow arrow. So we're going to be putting it into the bottom. The flow arrow should be pointing into the tank. So you can see there, it's about 1.5 inches. Now it's ready to go on. We're going to need to insert these. We'll show you the holes you're going to insert them into on the rear cross member. You're going to follow it up with this machine tool from S&B. And then the longer bolt, 2 of them are going to be shorter. Those are going to be the ones to secure the rear strap. And this longer bolt is going to be the activation bolt. So it's going to secure in, you're going to torque it down, and this plus nut is going to spread out inside that cross member. Then you're going to back it out and do the other one, and this bolt will not be used to install the tank. So a couple things before the tank's all the way into place is, one, you can get all your fuel lines that we disconnected, connect it now. It'll make it a little bit easier to reach. You can still do that when the tank's all the way into place. Then secondly, the rear part of the tank will show that hose is on the rear part of the tank. That's going to go through a cross member and onto the barb. And the last step is going to be putting on this filler hose to the rubber filler pipe. There we go. And always remember to double check your work. Hose clamps are tight. All the bolts are tight. Nothing is contacting the tank on the top. Clearance with the drive line. Then go do a first fill up to make sure there's no leaks.